Hey guys, it's Alyson, and I have decided at the very, very, very last minute to do an episode this week. It is 2 days after Christmas, but that doesn't mean I can't do a quick book tag that's Christmas related because our tree is still up. I feel like most people I know don't take the tree down until after New Year's. Some even one time a friend that I had back in middle school or something, her family had it up till almost Valentine's Day, so it counts, it's fine. Plus, I feel like Christmas went by way too quickly this year. I feel like it was only last week, it was December 1st, but here we are with only a few days left of 2022, so yikes. But anyway, so I just really quick want to do the Christmas song book tag. I will, of course, link the creator's video on YouTube in the show notes. And it's pretty self-explanatory. Different Christmas songs have different, questions associated with them. You get the gist. So I've done music-related book tags before. Anyway, let's get started. I'm just rambling. You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch, is the first question. Name a villainous character you can't help but love. And I kind of cheated because, again, I did these at the last minute, guys. I can't think of a good book villain character because there aren't really any book villain characters that I love. The only one I could think of to put down is Rumpelstiltskin from Once Upon a Time, the TV show. And I'm counting it because, it's based off fairy tale characters. So, yeah. Yeah, it's mostly TV show or movie villains that I like. I don't really fall in love with a lot of book villains, which is interesting, and very unpopular, apparently. But anyway, yeah, it's Rumpelstiltskin from Once Upon a Time. I love that man. Okay, on to the next question. Okay, and next is the most annoying Christmas song. Or, it's a good song, it's just we hear it too often. All I Want for Christmas Is You. Which book do you most hope to see under the Christmas tree? You see, no one really gives me very many books. I mostly just get gift cards because everyone knows how many books I have, so instead of accidentally getting me something I already have, they usually give me gift cards. But occasionally someone like my brother, he gave me my gifts on Christmas Eve. He surprised me. He gave me a book I didn't have. It was a Colleen Hoover book, and it was really thoughtful, so I'm like, oh, thanks, bud. But yeah, so I did get a couple books. I got that one, and my aunt gave me a book written by a local author, for her, that was a independently published young adult fantasy. I can't remember the title of the book right now because I left it upstairs, and I'm too lazy to go up and get it. But yeah, I didn't write down an answer for this one. I kind of forgot about this question. Hold on, let me think. Any book I want? Oh, there's a book called Marmee that came out earlier this year. It's basically, a book that focuses on Marmee, the mother from Little Women, and I love the story Little Women. I obviously have talked about the Greta Gerwig movie a lot with whenever Gabby's on. So yeah, I guess that one. But Christmas has already passed, so I don't see it under the trees. But it's okay. I have gift card money. I can go buy it myself. Anyway, on to the next question. Okay, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Name a character that overcomes major obstacles and learns to believe in themselves. I have two answers. Katniss Everdeen, because duh, we know we're currently reading the series. I'm sure all of y'all who've read it or who have been following along this podcast knows she's gone through a lot. And my other answer is Princess Yona from Yona of the Dawn, which is a manga series that I started reading earlier this year. I'm currently on volume 4, and I know she's gonna go through more stuff because there's 30 volumes in this series, but it is so freaking good, guys. And I was scared to, because it's such a long series, I was scared to commit, but when I read the first volume, I instantly fell in love. So I have to keep reading because, oh my gosh, it's so good. Like, Yona of the Dawn and Spy Family are, like, my two new favorite mangas now. But anyway, so yes, Yona and Katniss are the characters that overcome major obstacles and learn to believe in themselves a little bit, I think. I don't know. I'm at, like, the beginning of Yona's journey, but we'll see what happens from here. Anyway, next question. Santa Claus is coming to town. Which character would be at the top of the naughty list, and who's at the top of the nice list? Okay, so naughty, Coriolanus Snow. Because duh. Like, just everything he did in Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes alone is enough to put him on the top of the naughty list for me. Like, this isn't even mentioning everything he does, like, you know, over the years as president, and then what he's currently doing in the Hunger Games trilogy, which is, you know, committing a shit ton of war crimes. So yeah, great character, but he's definitely the top of the naughty list, and I can't wait next year for the movie. Anyway, as for the top of the nice list, Matthew Cuthbert from Anne of Green Gables, because anyone who knows me, this year I have completely fallen in love with the series. I'm about halfway through the third book, and Matthew's just the best, and he's the whole reason, and he's like the first person to be like, no, Anne deserves a home, and I love this man so much. Everyone should be more like Matthew Cuthbert, then the world would be a much better place. But yeah, that is my answer. Okay, so next question. All right, Frosty the Snowman, which book just melts your heart? I said Sheets by Brenna Thumler. It's a graphic novel where a girl runs her family's laundromat, and she ends up befriending a ghost, and they form a very sweet friendship. And the sequel is also really good, but I think, like, the first one the original, of course, will always hold a very special place in my heart. And the artwork's beautiful, and Brenna Thumler, by the way, also made the art for the graphic novel adaptation of Anne of Green Gables. So, needless to say, Brenna Thumler is the best for that. Next question. All right, Feliz Navidad. That's so easy to get stuck in my head. Feliz Navidad. Choose a book that takes place in a country other than your own. And I forgot to write down an answer for this question. So I'm just gonna come up with a very, I'll just say The Infernal Devices, because that takes place mostly in London, which is in the United Kingdom, and I'm from the United States, so different country. I could also say Anne of Green Gables, because that takes place in Canada, and, you know, again, I live in the States. So, there we go. Woohoo! Pretty good, guys, you know, for someone who forgot to write down the answer. I just came up with 2 answers. Woo! Doing great, everyone. I'm not a complete mess right now. It's fine. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Which holiday-themed book do you use to spread Christmas joy? So, I got 2 answers. A classic, of course, A Christmas Carol, because who doesn't love the story of A Christmas Carol? The book's great, of course, and there are 1,000,001 adaptations out there, though I think we can all agree the best one is The Muppets Christmas Carol. It's not my opinion, it's just a fact, guys. Anyway, so I said that one, and Kiss Her Once for Me, which is a new, like, holiday rom-com book that came out this year, and it is so freaking amazing. Guys, like, everyone, please go read it. Please go read it. I don't read a ton of romance. I mean, I'm starting to, but this is, like, my favorite romance book that I've read ever, possibly. So, it's great. And even if you don't celebrate Christmas, I recommend reading it. And because it's got all wonderful romantic tropes and family drama. What more could you want? All right. So the next question. Okay, next is Sleigh Ride. Which character would you choose to spend the holidays with? And doesn't have to be romantic. Once again, I forgot to write down an answer. I'm really well put together, guys. It's fine. Okay. Which character would I spend the holidays with? You know what? I'd spend the holidays with the Weasley family because like all the Christmas parts in the Harry Potter books are always some of my favorite parts, especially in the first book. That just feels like the most magical chapter in the entire series, and Mrs. Weasley makes amazing food, and I love everyone, because who doesn't want to be part of that family Christmas? I'd get a sweater out of it too, and it'd be amazing. Is there anyone else? I mean, if I had to pick a romantic person to have for Christmas, I'd choose Jem Carstairs from The Infernal Devices, because he is perfect, and he would probably write me a song on his violin for Christmas. Who doesn't want that? Okay, yeah, those are my answers. The Weasley family, and then Jem Carstairs. Okay, what's the next question? Right, baby, it's cold outside. Which book would you sacrifice to a fire to keep warm? Now, I am strongly opposed to burning any books, guys, under any circumstances. But, for the sake of this question, I would not mind burning a copy of Walden, because I hated that book. And Great Expectations. Because, again, hated that book too, which is a shame, because I was assigned to read Great Expectations the summer going into my junior year of high school for my class. And I was excited because I'd read A Christmas Carol in the past, and I love A Christmas Carol, guys, clearly, hence, a few questions ago. So I was excited, like, oh, cool, I get to read another Charles Dickens book for my class, and then I hated it. It was one of the worst books I ever read. I don't think I finished it. I just was miserable reading it. And then I keep not reading another Charles Dickens book. Like, I want to read A Tale of Two Cities, especially because it's so significant for Tessa in The Infernal Devices, which is one of my favorite series. So I keep wanting to read A Tale of Two Cities for that reason, but I don't know. Great Expectations left a bad taste in my mouth. But then again, the Last Hour series is like loosely inspired from Great Expectations too, and I love The Last Hour, so I don't know. I have a lot of complicated feelings with that book. But anyway, even though it's after Christmas, I'm now thinking about rewatching The Muppets Christmas Carol. Anyway, I should just move on to the next question. Do you hear what I hear? I don't know what that was. Okay, do you hear what I hear? Which book do you think everyone should read? And I'm just gonna say The Hunger Games. I think it's a good book because it's got, fast-paced plot, interesting characters, lots you can talk about, and it's an exciting book that I think can get, people into reading, except Lily, apparently. She never finished her book. Love you, Lily. But yeah, and obviously I love the series from the many, many episodes now talking about it, and we still have more to go. So yeah, The Hunger Games. I think everyone should read it at some point. Okay, next question. Okay, Where Are You Christmas? A book you want immediately that isn't out yet. For one, the Will and Nico book that's coming out. What's it called? The Sun and Star? Yeah. And also Percy Jackson and was it The Chalice of the Gods? Like, ugh, I'm still in shock. I still can't believe that we're getting like a Percy Jackson book. Anyway, and also Chain of Thorns, that comes out at the end of January, and I've said it a million times, but I know that book will emotionally destroy me, and I'm thinking of rereading Chain of Gold and Chain of Iron this month, leading up to Chain of Thorns. That way everything's fresh in my brain, because I've read Chain of Gold a couple times, and I pretty much know that book well, but I haven't read Chain of Iron since it came out, because I was emotionally devastated at the end of that book. And I know Chain of Thorns will leave me more emotionally devastated because it's what Cassandra Clare does. But yeah, those 3 books, I will be reading those the second they come out. I will drop everything else I'm doing to read those books because I need it. I need them now. Okay. What's the next question? Okay, Last Christmas, a book you started out loving but ended up hating. The Night Ship. Forget the author's name, but I don't care enough to look it up. So I had to read this book for the Barnes & Noble book club that I'm part of, and I started out and I'm like, okay, I'm intrigued, I'm interested, but as it went on, I just did not like it. I didn't even finish it in time for our book club meeting, guys. I just showed up and they're like, so Alyson, what'd you think? I'm like, I didn't finish it. And they're like, oh. And one of the other girls in the book club, she told me that she also didn't like it. And she's like, yeah, I got to the end. It wasn't worth it. You made the right choice not finishing it, Alyson. So yeah, which was a shame because it sounded really interesting. And the book's gorgeous. It had like, the blue spray page edges. So I was really excited to read it, but then it was just so disappointing. So yeah, The Night Ship. Don't recommend. So yeah, next question. Okay, we got 2 more. We can do this. Blue Christmas, a book that made you cry. Well, I can think of a few, but I'm going to say 2 that I don't think I've ever said before for questions like this. Aristotle and Dante dive into the waters of the world. I did not need that much emotional damage, Benjamin Ellery Sans. What the fuck? Still a good book, though. But what the fuck? So yeah, that one. And Grown by Tiffany D. Jackson. Look at the trigger warnings on that book, guys. It's amazing, but holy crap, look up the trigger warnings on that book. Tiffany D. Jackson is amazing, and I think she's an underrated author. And I've been consistently getting her books from the library, but I just got a couple. I recently just got her newest book, which is like a thriller. I think it's supposed to be like a loosely based off Carrie, which is what sold me on it because I love the movie Carrie. I love the musical. And I also got her book, Monday's Not Coming, that I may or may not be using for an experimental episode, but we don't have to think about that right now. Okay. Words, Alyson. Focus. Again, I'm a hot mess tonight, guys. It's okay. I was just in a long car ride this morning, so yeah, I'm a little disoriented, but it's fine. So yes, the Aristotle and Dante sequel and Grown by Tiffany D. Jackson, both made me cry. Thank goodness I was not in public when I read certain emotionally damaging parts for those books. Yay. Okay, and last is A Marshmallow World, a fluffy book. So I said Soppy by Philippa Rice. It's a little graphic novel. Not really a plot, it's just this collection of moments that Philippa Rice based off of that she had with her boyfriend when they first moved in together. And it's just all these sweet moments of, cooking together for the first time, getting their first bill, making a cup of tea for each other, having picnics, and it's just so sweet. It's a really amazing pick-me-up book, and I think everyone should read it. But yeah, that could have also applied to the earlier question, but anyway, yeah, that's the end of this tag, and the end of this episode. And again, I apologize for being a slightly hot mess right now. I just felt like, making something, even though it's a couple days after Christmas, but it's fine. It's fine. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Yeah, I don't have much to say. I know I'm planning to do a kind of a year wrap-up episode with Sarah. Basically, we just want to talk about books we've read this year. And I don't know, maybe talk about reading goals that we also have for the upcoming year, or goals that I have for the podcast. And also, at some point, either the first week or second week of January is when we'll get back to reading Mockingjay, is when we'll read the next 3 chapters. what was it, chapter 10 to 12? Yeah, that'll be coming up soon. But anyway, socials in the show notes. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, I'd love it if you'd rate and review. That way it gets the podcast out there so more people can listen. And yeah, I don't have anything else to say. I'm pretty much rambling. But anyway, I hope you all have a fun. But I hope everyone who celebrates Christmas had a fun Christmas. You celebrate Hanukkah. I hope you had a good Hanukkah. And of course, what's it, the second or third day of Kwanzaa. If you celebrate that, happy Kwanzaa. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great day/night, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye!